Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 3, and I'm Lee Choi-Yi Rainbow. I'm responsible to solve the question number 3A1 from the mock 3.
I'm Matthew-Hay Nicole. I'm responsible for solving question 3A2.
I'm Tuin-Wan Irene, and I'm responsible for doing question 3B1.
I'm Juin C, and I'm responsible for question 3B2.
I'm Anna Honoki, and I'm responsible for question 3C.
I'm Ai-Jing, and I'm responsible for mock 4 question B.
The daily sales amount of a cake shop is normally distributed with a mean of $10,000 and a standard deviation of $2,500. What is the probability that the sales amount of the cake shop is between $7,500 and $14,000? To find out the required probability, we can use the normal distribution. First of all, we have to find out the standard normal random variable, which is denoted by z. It can be calculated by x minus the mean over the standard deviation. After that, we can substitute the z value into this formula. To find out the probability, we have to let x be the sales amount of the cake shop. X is a normal random variable with the mean 10,000 and the standard deviation 2,500. To find out the probability of x between 7,500 and 40,000, we have to find out the probability of z between 7,500 minus the mean over the standard deviation and 14,000 minus the mean over the standard deviation. After that, we know that the probability of z is between -1 and 1.6. Then we can use 1 to minus the probability of z less than or equal to -1 and minus the probability of z larger or equal to 1.6. Because the curve of a normal distribution is symmetric, so actually z less than or equal to -1 is equal to z larger or equal to 1. So after finding the z value from the standardized normal distribution, we know that 1 minus 0.1587 minus 0.0548. Then we can get the answer. The probability that the sales amount of the cake shop is between $7,500 and $14,000 is 0.7865.
Question 3A2. Determine the daily sales amount such that 90% of the days are having sales amount more than it. It is given that Z is normally distributed with mean equals to 10,000 and variance equals to 2,500 squared. Let Z be the daily sales amount such that 90% of the days are having sales amount more than it. Therefore, we have the probability equals to 90%. It can be shown on the normal distribution graph that the area of 90% is the area on the right of Z above the axis. And according to the theorem, if x is a normal random variable with mean and standard deviation, then Z equals to x minus mean over standard deviation. And here are the steps to the solution. First, the probability of Z larger than Z1 equals to 0.9, where Z1 is to be determined. And next, we can determine that the probability of Z smaller than Z1 equals to 0.1. And by symmetry of the graph, the probability of Z larger than Z2 equals to 0.1. And next, by referring to the normal distribution table, Z2 equals to 1.28. So Z1 equals to -1.28. Next, by the theorem mentioned in slide 3, where Z1 equals to -1.28, the standard deviation equals to 2,500, mean equals to 10,000 and x equals to 6,800, we can find out that the answer to the question is $6,800.
A community center is going to hold a yoga class with 15 registered students. From the previous records of yoga class, the average absence rate per student is 5%. Calculate the probability that at most 13 students will attend the yoga class. Then we'll use binomial distribution, as the question meets all the 4 requirements for binomial distribution. And this is the formula. So we let x be the number of students attending the yoga class. And since the absence rate is 5%, 1 minus 5% would be the probability of the student attending the yoga class, which is 0.95. So we let x be the number of students that will attend the yoga class. From the question, at most 13 students will attend the yoga class. So it can be written as x is smaller or equal to 13. But since it will be too many terms to write, we can use the complementary rule, which will be 1 minus x is larger or equal to 14. Then we plot the numbers into the equation, where the n is number of childs, which is 15, and the x will be 14 and 15, as the numbers have to be larger or equal to 14. After calculation, we get the answer, which is 0.171.
Given that at least 12 students will attend the yoga class, calculate the probability that there will be at most 1 student absent. From the question, at least 12 students will attend the yoga class is a given condition, so we use conditional probability to calculate. Let x be the number of students will attend the yoga class, then x also follows the binomial distribution. The conditional probability of x is larger or equal to 14. Given that x is larger or equal to 12, which is the probability of intersection of x is larger or equal to 14 and x is larger or equal to 12, divide the probability x is larger or equal to 12. Because we have already got the value of the probability x equal to 14 plus the probability x equal to 15. So we can just substitute the value into the equation. And now we just need to calculate the probability x equal to 12 plus probability x equal to 13, which is 0.165485276. And we also substitute the value into the equation, and we get the final answer, 0.8336.
Next, we will come to question 3C. It is about the number of a new model of high-definition television sold at an electric shop follow the Poisson distribution with the mean rate of 10 per day. We need to calculate the probability that at most one day in the next 7 days will have at most 7 televisions to be sold in a day. We need to apply the Poisson distributions, and we can see the definition and the formula here. We should let x be the number of high-definition televisions sold in a day. Then we can have x tutor PO10. By substitute the value into the equation, we can get the value 0.22022. After having the value of 0.22022, we should apply the binomial distribution, and we can have the definition and the formula here. As we can see, we need to calculate the value of Q. The value of Q is equal to 1 minus P, which means is 1 minus 0.22022. So we can get the value of Q is 0.77978. Let y be the number of days in the next 7 days we'll have at most 7 televisions sold. Then we can have y tutor b 7, 0.22022. Next we can have the equation p y smaller or equal to 1 equal to p y equal to 0 plus p y equal to 1. By substitute the value into the equation, we can have the answer 0.5219. That means the probability is 0.5219.
Question 3b of Mock 4. The main information is that ABC restaurant offers 3 choices of set lunch, A, B, and C. Among customers, 35%, 40%, and 25% choose A, B, and C respectively. The question is, if 100 customers are selected randomly, evaluate the probability that at least 30 of them choose set lunch A. To solve this question, we can think about the binomial distribution. In this case, we have 100 customers, which are identical observations. They have 2 possible outcomes, that is, choose A and not choose A. The probabilities of choose A equals to 35%. And last, each customer choose lunch set independently. So we can use binomial distribution in this case. We let X be the number of customers who choose set lunch A. Then we can get the notation of the binomial distribution as the red word right. However, it's hard to directly calculate the probabilities. Then we can find that NP equals to 35 and NQ equals to 65. They are both bigger than 5. Then we know that it can be approximated to normal distribution. We use the formula and get that the probabilities of X bigger or equal to 30 equals to the probabilities of Z bigger or equal to minus 1.15. From the graph, we can know that the probabilities of Z bigger or equals to minus 1.15 equals to the probabilities of Z smaller or equals to 1.15. And according to the table, we can get the result that is 0.8749. Therefore, the probability that at least 30 of the customers choose set lunch A is 0.8749.